everyone. Welcome back to I'm Just Saying, where we say just about anything we want, including explicit content. The show is for mature audiences only, where discussions happen without adult supervision. Real people, real conversations, real fun. Today, we're going to talk about some spirit differences. No, not the one standing behind you. Actually, the term spirit for distilled alcohol originates from medieval alchemy, when early chemists and monks heated fermented liquids like wine in a still. The alcohol vaporized and separated from the water. Because this resulting vapor, when condensed, was the purest and most potent essence of the liquid, they referred to it as the spirit of the substance. Yep. Whiskey versus Scotch versus bourbon versus brandy. First of all, I'm going to take a sip because it's Friday and that's what's up. I'll tell you what this is in a minute. Keep you guessing. The core differences come down to the base ingredient and geographical origin. Whiskey and its subtypes, like bourbon and Scotch, are distilled from fermented grains, while brandy is distilled from fermented fruit. Let me break it down for you. Whiskey, a broad overarching category for any spirit distilled from a fermented mash of grains like barley, corn, rye, or wheat, and aged in wooden barrels. Bourbon, a specific type of American whiskey. To be called bourbon, it must be made in the US, contain at least 51% corn in its recipe, mash bill, and be aged new charred oak barrels, giving it a sweet vanilla forward flavor. Scotch, whiskey made exclusively in Scotland. It is traditionally made from malted barley and must be aged in oak barrels for a minimum of 3 years. Scotch often has a distinctive earthy and sometimes smoky flavor profile. Brandy, distilled from fruit juice or wine, most commonly grapes, but also apples, pears, and plums. Because of its base, brandy retains a sweeter, fruit forward flavor profile compared to the grain based whiskeys. Ultimately, it depends on your taste, preference, and your budget. You're probably thinking, yeah, just pour me one. Or maybe you have a tune in your head like, well, I ain't seen my baby since I don't know when. I've been drinking bourbon whiskey, Scotch and gin. By the way, One Bourbon, One Scotch, One Beer was written by Rudy Toombs and famously popularized by George Thorogood and the Destroyers. It's a classic blues drinking song about a man trying to drown his sorrow after losing his partner. The lyrics follow a man who hasn't seen his lover in days. He goes to a bar, orders the trio of drinks, and asks his landlord for more time to pay his rent because all his money went to alcohol. It was originally recorded by Amos Milburn in 1953. The most famous rendition by George Thorogood and the Destroyers, released in 1977, which combines the original track with blues legend John Lee Hooker's 1966 rendition. The song relies heavily on a driving, energetic, boogie blues rhythm punctuated by Thorogood's signature slide guitar. Anyway, getting back to it, I'm an equal opportunity drinker. Meaning depending on where I go is what I drink. Sometimes there are variances depending on weather or the company I keep, if any. So for today, we will talk about whiskey. I have drank plenty of Jack Daniels in my day, but as I got older, I switched it up. Also, Jack is a little sweet on the sweet side. Jack Daniels is a whiskey. Specifically, it is a Tennessee whiskey, which is a legally defined subset of bourbon. That must be produced in Tennessee and undergoes an extra step called the Lincoln County process, which is filtering the spirit through sugar maple charcoal before aging. Okay, so while bourbon and Tennessee whiskey are grain-based spirits, brandy is distilled exclusively from fermented fruit juice, typically grapes. Jack Daniels does not contain fruit. Okay, maybe if you're having it on the side with a Jack Daniels. Yeah, I'll have a Jack Daniels with a side of fruit. Otherwise, no. When I go to my local pub, my bartender knows to pour me a Jameson. Jameson is the world's best-selling. Got my green on today because I'm gonna be talking about some whiskey. Yeah, prone to shenanigans and malarkey. I should probably switch that around so you could actually read my shirt. But yeah. Anyway, moving on. Back to Jameson. It's the world's best-selling Irish whiskey, founded in Dublin in 1780 and now distilled in County Cork. It is celebrated globally for its signature smoothness, achieved by blending pot, not that kind of pot still, and grain whiskeys and triple distilling them. So the profile is a blend of malted and unmalted barley, aged in a combination of ex-bourbon and sherry casks for a minimum of 4 years. Expect a perfectly balanced light profile featuring sweet vanilla, toasted wood, and gentle orchard fruits. More fruit. So, whiskey seems healthy so far, right? Some fruit things going on. Just saying. I'm just saying. Anyway, saving the best for last, this is what I drink at home. While I take another sip, excuse me. I must say, I am a little biased because this is what my dad drank. Part of me feels like I drink with him when I drink with Johnny. Johnny Walker is the world's best-selling brand of blended Scotch whiskey and produced by Diageo in Scotland. It is famous for its color-coded label system and ranging from the everyday to the ultra premium, which dictates the whiskey's flavor profile, aging, and price. Each label is crafted for a distinct palate and occasion. I don't want to bore you with all the details, but here are the colors in order of price, lowest to highest. There's the red label, black label, masterful everyday icon. That's what I usually drink at home, actually, but it doesn't matter. Again, red label, black label, double black, green label, gold label reserve. Yeah, they don't fuck around. 18-year and a blue label. Yeah, I've had them all. When I buy it for myself, though, at home, typically I get the black label. Recently, I tried this, saw it, and I was like, okay, let's give it a whirl. This is, I really should change my screen so y'all can see this a whole other kind of way, but, yep. Well, yeah. 5, 4. There we go. She can be taught. Anyway, black cask. That's it. Let me give you a close-up. Johnny Walker, in case you want to hit me up and be like, hey, you did such a great job. Here's a case. I love you, Johnny Walker. Okay, let's go. That's what I had to say about that. All right, moving on. Onto some fun facts, because you know how we do it here. It's all about the fun facts. Kentucky is home to more barrels of maturing bourbon than people. However, with a population of 5.4 million and more than 20 million barrels of whiskey in store, Scotland has almost 4 casks of whiskey per citizen. Well, that doesn't seem like a whole lot. Anywho, whiskey is actually a Gaelic word. It means water of life. And I am getting thirsty. Don't judge. So yeah, here's some more facts about whiskey that I didn't know. Without whiskey, you wouldn't have Tabasco sauce. I don't use Tabasco sauce, but now I want to see if their flavor profile is there. That's right. It's a little known fact. I didn't know it. That the red pepper mash used to make authentic Louisiana Tabasco sauce matured in white oak barrels that previously contained whiskey and bourbon. The barrels no longer contain alcohol and are reused over approximately 35 to 40 years, helping Tabasco sauce develop its distinctive flavor. Who knew? Yeah, Kentucky has more bourbon barrels than people. While milk is the state's official drink, it seems Kentucky might be more inclined toward more spirited beverages, with over 12.6 million barrels of maturing bourbon and other spirits. Kentucky officially boasts more than 2 barrels for every Kentuckian. India loves whiskey. Yeah. India is the world's top buyer of whiskey by volume, overtaking the previous high achiever, by the way, which was France. Demand for whiskey in India is skyrocketing. Over the last decade, whiskey exports to the country have risen by 200%. right. Yeah. Other Asian countries are following suit, and whiskey is becoming the hottest spirit on the shelves in Taiwan, Singapore, and China, with experts predicting that Asians will soon become the world's biggest drinkers of whiskeys, if they already aren't. Mhm. Yep. All right, this is a fun one. Whiskey versus bananas. Okay. This will be changing your morning routine. People with the calorie intake, let's go. One shot of Scotch whiskey contains 97 calories. While this is slightly higher than some other spirits like vodka or gin, it's way below those of, it's way below those of in a can of beer. Approximately 150 calories. I know some of them are like light and whatever. There's maybe 90, but anyway, point being, regularly a can of beer is just standard 150 calories, right? Roughly. It even beats the number of calories in the banana, approximately 105 calories. So whiskey, 97. I'm just saying. So, what do you think will come out on top in a toss up between a glass of whiskey or a banana? Right? We're guessing it's not the fruit. Anyway, George Washington, president and whiskey maker. George Washington owned one of the largest whiskey distilleries in America. By 1799, he produced 11,000 gallons of whiskey using a recipe of 60% rye, 35% corn, and 5% malted barley. Yep. The distillery at Mount Vernon, Virginia, has been excavated and recreated by archaeologists and is open to visitors between April and October. Excuse me. Try authentic Tennessee whiskey. Yeah, try it. Tennessee has a long history of whiskey production, and we stick to the traditional time-tested practices to make our authentic farm-to-bottle spirits. And while whiskey is produced worldwide, only the spirits distilled in our great state can be called Tennessee whiskey. And when I say our great state, I don't mean mine, because I don't live in Tennessee. But I'll drink the whiskey, damn it, shit. Whiskey is more than just a stiff drink. That's for sure. It's like I always say, whiskey makes me frisky. Anywho, yeah, whiskey is more than just a stiff drink. It has a wild history, from angel taxes and whiskeys and smoke with sheep dung to being an actual form of currency. Whiskey is filled with quirky secrets that make for the perfect bar trivia. Okay? For example, Heaven's Little Tax. That empty space at the top of a barrel is no accident. Barrels lose 2 to 4% of their volume each year to evaporation. Distillers poetically call this the angel's share, letting the heavens get their cut first. Okay, a manure brew. Some adventurous Icelandic distilleries smoke their barley using sheep dung instead of traditional peat. It's a very practical local fuel source. Oh, good to know, in case, there's like what are you getting, post-apocalyptic? Yeah, let's just start burning shit. Anywho, whiskey as cash. During the 18th century, the favored currency in rural Pennsylvania was liquid gold. This didn't last long, as angry farmers eventually, revolted against the federal government over this, leading to the famous Whiskey Rebellion, RBT. I don't know why I said that. Anyway, of 1794. Immortal booze, unlike wine, which spoils quickly after being uncorked, an unopened bottle of whiskey can easily last over a century. Even after opening it, it stays good for up to 5 years. Surviving even the most freezing conditions, like old crates from Antarctica. That's right. That's why I drink the whiskey. I drink wine too. Look, like I said, I'm equal opportunity. I have it all. Margaritas, pina coladas, whiskey, vodka, and pineapple. It doesn't matter. Okay, I'm going to drink it. All right. Anyway, it's going to be a short one today, guys. So, hang on. Here are some quick quips for you before I slow it down and push it out. Alcohol doesn't solve your problems, but neither does milk. My doctor told me I needed to watch my drinking, so I set up a chair and now I drink in front of the mirror. What? Yeah. My boyfriend told me there's no such thing as problems, only opportunities. I thought, well, that's great. I have a serious drinking opportunity. What do you call an intelligent person in a room full of drunks? A designated driver. Mhm. That's right. And that concludes the topic for today. Like I said, it was going to be a short one. Whether you liked it or not, you can blame it on the alcohol. I don't care. Lastly, drink responsibly, folks. Yeah, just drink at home and don't be stupid and don't be angry. If you're a mean drunk or an asshole or whatever, that's not your game then. Either stop drinking or maybe not drink at all. Me personally, I get, I don't know, more bubbly and funnier as I drink. So no one's stopping me from drinking. Anyway, so yeah, I just want to do a quick shout out to Yeah Political Cadence, Closers by Committee. These are all Yeah family sub pods. Please, watch them and support them. These are all a bunch of people, you know, grouping together and doing their thing. They're all great. They all have something to offer for you. So, like I said, Yeah That's YEAHUH, just like it sounds. Yeah and yeah, and thank you to my network ASN for bringing us here. So all I gotta say is thank you for joining me, and hope you like the show. And if you didn't, scroll on, don't troll on. I'm just saying, you know what I mean. Till we meet again.